Good morning, children. I hope you all are keeping well at your home, right? So, if you're having any queries regarding your study materials, you are always free to send me your queries. I will try my best to solve out your queries. So, let's start with our online lesson for today. So, today we are going to start with the next part of our chapter, Animal Kingdom. In the previous lesson, we have learnt about different phylums till phylum Aschelminthes. Today we'll start with phylum Annelida and we'll proceed to the last phylum, that is phylum Chordata. So firstly, starting with phylum Annelida. Phylum Annelida, the word meaning is annulus means ring and lidos means form. So it includes segmented worms which are being present. The general features, what are those? Firstly, it is aquatic, terrestrial or free-living or parasitic organisms which are present. And the body of this organisms is divided into segments or metamers by ring-like grooves called annuli, and the process is referred to as metameric segmentation. If you'll remember the previous lesson, I have mentioned about the different features of the animal classification. Out of that, one of the most important feature was segmentation, in which I mentioned, for example, the earthworm, it has different segments or divisions in the body, which is internal as well as external. So that segments are referred to as the metamers and they're having the ring-like grooves which is called the annuli. And this process is referred to as what? Metameric segmentation. The next point is annelids, they're bilaterally symmetrical. Why bilaterally? Because they are the organisms which can be divided into two parts, both left and right. They are referred to as a triploblastic animals. I mentioned in the previous lesson that triploblastic means what? They are having three germinal layers. What are those? Ectoderm, endoderm and an in between intermediate mesoglial layer is present. The annelids, they have a true coelom. True coelom means what? True body cavity is being present. The annelids, they move by paired lateral hollow fleshy appendages in each segment called parapodia. So what is that? This parapodia is the organ through which the annelids, they can be able to move around. The digestive tract is straight and complete, starting from mouth and ending at the anus. So digestive tract, we can say that it is a straight and a complete one. Next, respiration, it occurs through skin, gills or parapodia. So this parapodia is having a dual function of both movement, as we have seen over here, as well as respiration. And other than this parapodia, skins and gills are also present, which is helping in the process of respiration. So this Annelida, these are the first animals which have a closed circulatory system, that is blood flows from the system of blood vessels. So the circulatory system is of closed type. Next is the excretory organs and nephridia. So this is important that the excretory process is being taking place with the specific organs referred to as nephridia. For example, nereis or bisexual hermaphrodites, for example, leech, earthworm and so on. The next phylum is Arthropoda. Firstly, the word meaning arthon means jointed and podos means food. So it includes the first simple segmented animals. So these are the jointed footed animals which are present. Firstly, they may be aquatic or terrestrial. They may occur as free-living or parasitic forms also. Secondly, the body is segmented externally and it has distinct head, thorax and abdomen. So separate head, thorax and abdomen is being present. The arthropods, they are bilaterally symmetrical and they are triploblastic with organ system level of organization. So bilateral symmetrical means what I have already mentioned. Bi means two halves are present, right and left. Triploblastic means what? Triploblastic means three germinal layers, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoglia, and they have an organ system level of organization. I mentioned about this in the previous class also. These organisms, they have jointed and paired appendages. Appendages means nothing but the locomotory organs are referred to as the appendages, which are being attached to the external part of the body. The exoskeleton is formed of thick, tough and non-living chitinous cuticle, and this exoskeleton protects animal from mechanical and chemical injuries, prevents desiccation and also helps in attachment. So the exoskeleton which is being present, which is very thick one, which is tough also, and this is non-living. And why chitinous cuticle? Because chitin is present which is helping in the rigidity of that exoskeleton. So this exoskeleton is helping in the protection of the animal and is also helping in preventing the desiccation purposes, which is helping in attachment also. The alimentary canal which is present in this organisms is complete and well developed and is divided into 3 guts: foregut, midgut and hindgut. Again, this respiration, it is occurring through what? Through the general body surface, that is gills. It can occur also through book lungs, trachea as well as book legs. So several examples are being written. So do study this part nicely, that which organisms are respiring through which parts. Next, the circulatory system is open type, that is blood flows in the hemocoel instead of the blood vessels. Hemocoel refers to as what? Hem means the iron containing pigment, right? And cell is the body cavity, right? Or the cavity if you can consider. So the circulatory system is of open type, which is occurring through this particularly cavity, which is referred to as hemocoel. The excretory organs are the Malpighian tubules. So Malpighian tubules are taking place, tubules are present, which is through which excretory system or excretory process is taking place, or the green glands are also present, which is helping in the process of respiration, excretion. The arthropods, they reproduce by sexual methods, and fertilization is usually the internal type. So the sexual process is only taking place in the process of reproduction. Next, the phylum Mollusca. If you come to the word meaning of this phylum Mollusca, first, mollusca means soft. So firstly, we can consider that this organism is a soft organism, so soft body is present. So firstly, these are the non-segmented and enclosed within a skin fold, which is referred to as a mantle, and it usually secretes a calcareous shell. Salient features one by one we will see. This mollusks, they are the multicellular organisms, that means more than one cell. Bilateral symmetry or asymmetrical. Bilateral means 2 divisions, one left and right, and asymmetrical means unequal divisions. Triploblastic animals means what? 3 germinal layers are present: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoglia. Coelomate animals means they have a true body cavity. They have organ system led grade of organization. So organ system is specifically well developed, and the body is soft and non-segmented. The soft body, which is being covered by a fleshy fold of the body wall, it is called as the mantle. As I have mentioned previously over here also, so a skin fold mantle is being present. The respiration in this organisms are carried out by gills or the pulmonary chambers. So this is the organ of respiration. The digestive system in this organisms is very much well developed, and the circulatory system is of open type. It is not closed, it is open type. The sexes, they are separate in them, and they are hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites means that both the sexes are present in one specific organism. The development in their case in either direct or indirect. So development takes place either directly or indirectly from the parents. And the development is direct, hence no metamorphosis and larval stage is being present. Right? For example, you can see octopus, we can see snail also, and there are several other examples which are being present. The next phylum is phylum Echinodermata. So this phylum is the last phylum among the non-chordates. The term Echinodermata, this refers from the words echinos means spiny and dermatos means skin. So one point we can consider these organisms as the spiny skin-like structures. So firstly, these are exclusively marine beings, and they are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Triploblastic means again 3 layers, and coelomate means the true body cavity is present. They are radially symmetrical body. Radially symmetrical means what? They are divided depending on the radius, and they have an organ system grade of organization. So organ system is well developed. We can find out the organs having specific functions. They have a well developed vascular system which is having tube fit for locomotion, feeding and respiration. So this vascular system is very much well developed, in which the tube fit is present, which is helping in the process of locomotion also. The circulatory system is of the open type. So like that of the previous organisms in the phylum Mollusca, this is also having the open type. The sensory organs, they are poorly developed, and the excretory organs, they are absent. In this organisms, the development is indirect, and the larval forms, they are bilaterally symmetrical. So in this organisms, if you see the adults, they have radially symmetrical body, and the larval forms, they are bilaterally symmetrical body. So this is all about Echinodermata, for example, the starfish. Next, phylum Hemichordata. So this Hemichordata is specifically a connection between chordata and non-chordata. So as a result of that, it is placed in between these two phylums. So hemi means half and chordate means notochord is present, right? So half of the notochord. So let's see how it is being the salient features. Firstly, they are the exclusive marine and mostly they live in the burrows, and they are the bilateral symmetrical and triple blastic animals. So bilateral symmetrical divided into two halves and triple blastic 3 germinal layers. They're the soft bodied organisms, cylindrical and unsegmented body. So this is one of the characters of the non-chordates also, right? Like in case of mollusk also we have seen that these are soft bodies, like cylindrical in case of annelids and unsegmented in case of the Podifera. And in this organisms, they divide into 3 parts: proboscis, collar and trunk. The digestive system is complete, like that of the chordates. The digestive system is definitely complete in this organisms, and the respiratory system, they're having several pair of gill slits, or through the general body surface also the process of respiration is taking place. It consists of dorsal heart and is of open type. For example, the Balanoglossus, Saccoglossus and Cephalodiscus. So these are the organisms which can be considered under hemichordata. So we can easily say that this hemichordata, it is a connection in between the chordates and non-chordates. So I hope that you've understood till this hemichordata. So there must be some question in your mind that there are so many phylums which we are studying, right? So how to remember these characters of this phylum? So one thing I can tell you that if you can take the examples of different phylums as one, and you can think of those organisms, their characters, then you can get several characters out of this phylum. For example, if we consider an organism, suppose cockroach, we know that this cockroach is falling under the phylum Arthropoda. So we know that how this cockroach looks like, right? So we can find out the different characters of this organism easily, and we can easily write out or sort out the characters also. Okay, so I request everybody to find out the examples and make a list out of it, that which examples are falling in which phylum, and thinking of those organisms, you can specifically find out at least 3 to 4 characters of those organisms and include in those phylum. Okay, so we will move on to the next phylum, that is phylum Chordata. So this phylum Chordata, the vertebrata, these are having the notochord-like structures, right? So these are different, these are divided into 3 different subphylum. What are those? Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. So 3 subphyla are present. So firstly, Urochordata, if we consider, this Urochordata and Cephalochordata, they are referred to as a protochordates. So this first two subphyla, as we have studied, Urochordata and Cephalochordata, these are the protochordates. And this firstly Urochordata, their notochord is present and only in the larval tail. So notochord may be present but only in the larval conditions. Cephalochordata, it extends from the head to tail region and is persistent throughout its life. So you can see the complexity is being increasing one by one. And this vertebrata, the animals which possesses notochord are called vertebrates. So notochord is present all throughout, and the body here is bilateral symmetrical, and the exoskeleton is definitely present, and the body wall is triploblastic with the presence of 3 germinal layers. So again, this vertebrata can be further divided. Again, this chart also, you will get it in your NCERT children. So you can have a look at your book also. So this chart, if you consider, firstly vertebrata, it is divided into 2 divisions. What is those? Agnatha, which is lacking the jaw, and Gnathostomata, which is bearing the jaw. The class Cyclostomata is within this Agnatha. Okay, and Gnathostomata, it is having some superclass. That is, one is Pisces, another one is Tetrapoda. Pisces, which is bearing the fins and having 2 classes, Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes, and Tetrapoda, which is bearing the limbs, having 4 classes, that is Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. So firstly, starting with Cyclostomata. So this Cyclostomata, these members, they are the ectoparasites on some fishes. So they depend on some of the fishes for their survival. And they have elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pair of gill slits for respiration. So the gill slits are the organs for the process of respiration. And these organisms, they have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws. As I have mentioned, this is a chart. See this Agnatha, this is lacking the jaw. So these organisms, Cyclostomata, they are type of Agnatha, right? So they are having this sucking and circular mouth but without this jaws. So their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. So these scales and fins are not being present in their body. The cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous, that means fleshy in nature. The bone is not present. The circulation is of closed type and the cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to fresh water. Spawning means development of the new fishes, the baby ones. So after the spawning, within a few days they die, and the larva, after metamorphosis, they return to the ocean, right? So this process is being continued. For example, petromyzin and myxin. So hackfish and lamprey. So these are the examples of this cyclostomatans. Next is, we'll come to the next one, that is Gnathostomata, which is having the first class, that is Pisces. And Pisces is having two classes, that is Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. So firstly, Chondrichthyes. Chondrichthyes, these are the specifically cartilaginous fishes which are present. Cartilaginous, as I have mentioned, these are the fleshy ones. So these organisms, they're mostly marine and predaceous, and the body is fusiform or spindle shaped. That means, what do you know? Spindle shaped refers to, it is a boat shape like structure. So these fins, they are both median and paired. Median means present in the middle part, and paired you all know. So all supported by the fin rays. So skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales and mucus scales. So this is one type of scale, placoid scale, which is being present, and the mucus glands are also present for the secretion of the mucus. The endoskeleton is entirely cartilaginous without true bones. So as I have mentioned, these are the fleshy fishes which are being present. And the notochord is present. For respiration, 5 to pair of gills are present. The heart here is two-chambered, as because fishes we know the two-chambered heart are present, right children? You know that. So this heart is two-chambered, which is having one auricle and one ventricle. So it is a venous heart which is present. The kidneys, they are opistronephic. Okay, so what does this opistronephic means? Opistronephic means what? It is a functional adult kidney which is being present, right? And the excretion is ureotelic, that means presence of urea. Urea is the excretory product. The brain is present with large olfactory lobes and cerebellum, and the cranial nerves, it is of 10 pairs. So for this type of organisms, the example can be shark. You all know about shark or scoliodon, right? So these are the examples of Chondrichthyes, which is having cartilaginous fishes. Next, we'll move on to another class, that is Osteichthyes, which are the bony fishes. Firstly, these are having inhabit of all sorts of water, that is fresh, brackish or salt or warm or cold water. So all type of aquatic conditions are suitable for this type of organism. The body is spindle shaped and streamlined, like I've mentioned previously. The body, this is of boat shaped like structures. The fins are both median and paired, like previously, same, and supported by the fin rays of cartilage or bone. So as because it is bony, so bone can also be present. The skin with many mucous glands are present, which is embedded with dermal scales of 3 types. So 3 types of scales can be present: ganoid, cycloid or ctenoid. The details, it is not necessary for you people to know. You can just remember the names of these types of scales. The endoskeleton is chiefly of bone, as because it is a bony organism. The respiration, it takes place by 4 pairs of gills on the body arches. So previously, if you see the Chondrichthyes, they're having 5 to 7 pairs of gills, right? So here it is having 4 pairs of gills on the body arches. The ventral heart is being present, which is venous in nature, which is having 2 chambered like previously, as because it is a fish, 1 auricle and 1 ventricle. And the adult kidneys, mesonephric kidneys, are being present, and the excretion is ureotelic like previously, same. The brain with very small olfactory lobes and small cerebrum and well-developed optic lobes and cerebellum. So it is a well-developed one, brain is present. The well-developed lateral line system is also present. So lateral line system means what? If you see the bony fishes which you have as your meal also, there is one middle line which is being present in the body of those fishes. So this lateral line system is being present. And what is the function of this lateral line? This lateral line is helping the fishes to have a good balance in their path while they flow through the water. So example of these fishes may include the rohu fish or katla fish, and there are several other examples of that. The next class we'll move on to is class Amphibia. For example, the toads and the frogs. So what are the general characters? Firstly, they're aquatic or semi-aquatic. We all know these frogs or the toads, if we consider, these are the amphibians of the animal kingdom, right? So these amphibians, they can live on land as well as water. So they are aquatic or semi-aquatic, and their presence of air or water breathing carnivorous, cold-blooded, oviparous, tetrapod, vertebrates. So there is many words which you can see. Firstly is air and water breathing. So both it can occur because it is amphibian. Carnivorous, it means the flesh eaters. Cold-blooded, you all know the meaning of cold-blooded. Oviparous means presence of the ovary, right? And tetrapod means four-legged, right? So poda means legs and tetra means four. So four-legged vertebrates. So head is distinct, trunk elongated, neck and tail may be present or absent. So head is present prominently and the trunk is elongated along with that connection, and the neck and tail may or may not be present. The pigment cells referred to as chromatophores are present. The exoskeleton is absent in these cases. The endoskeleton, it is mostly bony because it is a vertebrate, and the notochord does not pulsate. The skull with two occipital condyles are being present. So occipital condyles are part of the brain, right? So skull is present with the help of these two occipital condyles. The respiration, it is taking place by what? Lung, skin and mouth lining. So these three processes are helping in the process of respiration. Next is, in this ones, if we see, the heart is three-chambered. Previously in the fishes we have seen the heart is two-chambered, venous heart. Here the heart is three-chambered, two auricles and one ventricle is present. The kidneys, they are mesonephric kidneys which are present. The excretion is ureotelic like that of the fishes. The brain, it is poorly developed, and the cranial nerves, they are having 10 pairs. Like in case of previous one, you have seen the 10 pairs of nerves, cranial nerves are being present, right? So here you can see the convictus, the 10 pairs of cranial nerves were present. So similarly, in case of amphibians also 10 pairs of cranial nerves are present. The nostrils are connected to the buccal cavity. For example, I have already said frog, toad and so on. The next class is class Reptilia. So Reptilia, if we consider the lizards and the snakes, right? So we can point out several characters depending on these organisms. So firstly, they are terrestrial, creeping or burrowing animals, and the body, they are bilateral, symmetrical and divisible into four regions. What are those? Head, neck, trunk and tail. And they have limbs. The presence of limbs are there, two pairs, and they are pentadactyl. Penta means 5, dactyl means limbs, right? So 5 limbs can be present after that. And the exoskeleton of horny epidermal scales are present, and the scales, they are being very thick and they are devoid of any glands. The skins are having those, and the skin is dry and they are devoid of any type of glands. The alimentary canal, they can terminate into a cloacal aperture through which the process of excretion is happening. And the endoskeleton which is present is bony. The skull is with one occipital condyle. Endoskeleton which is present is bony. The skull is with one occipital condyle. So previously you have seen in case of amphibians, 2 occipital condyle are present. Here 1 occipital condyle is present. The heart is usually 3-chambered and 4-chambered in case of crocodiles. So you can see one by one as the classes are being moving on, we can see that the complexity of these organisms are increasing, and the heart specifically, if we consider as an example, it is also having some advanced features. The respiration, if we next consider, it is occurring with the help of the lungs present. The kidney is metanephric and excretion is uricotelic. So here uric acid is the excretory product as because it is uricotelic. The next class is class Aves. Aves refers to the birds, right? So they are the feather clad. Obviously feathers are present, air breathing, warm blooded, oviparous and bipedal flying vertebrates. Bipedal means what? They can move with the help of 2 legs. The limbs are 2 pairs. 2 pairs of limbs are present, right? 4 limbs and hind limbs. And the exoskeleton is epidermal and horny. The next point, if you see, the pectoral muscles of flight in this birds, they are well developed because they are the organisms which are flying high, and these birds, they are the warm-blooded animals which is specifically called homeothermal animals. The sternum in this organisms, they are the well developed and obviously present because the sternum is the breastbone which is being present. The heart in these organisms, they are 4-chambered, that means presence of 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. And the respiration, it takes place by compact, spongy and distensible lungs which is present within the thin air sacs. So next, the last class, or the most advanced and complex ones, it is the mammalia. We also fall under this class, mammalia. So what is the first point? These are the hair-clad, mostly terrestrial, air-breathing, warm-blooded, viviparous tetrapod vertebrates. So these are the organisms which is having the following characters. The limbs in these organisms are 2 pairs, pentadactyl, each with 5 or fewer digits. So if you consider the fingers of our hand and legs, we can see that 5 fingers in legs as well as hands are present. So it is pentadactyl. Penta means 5, so pentadactyl. So exoskeleton is definitely being present, and it is the skin, it is richly glandular, containing sweat, sebaceous as well as some scent glands in both the sex organs. And the female, specifically you can consider the mammary glands are being present, which is helping for the production of the milk and for the suckling of that to the young ones. Right? So next, the teeth. This is of several types. What is that? That is referred to as heterodon. Hetero means different and don means the teeth. So different types of teeth are present. And this teeth, if we consider, these are born in different sockets. This is referred to as thecodont and are represented by 2 cells which is called as diphodont. The respiration, as we know, we all respire with the help of lungs and is referred to as pulmonary respiration. The heart is obviously 4-chambered with double circulation, having 2 auricles and 2 ventricles. The brain is highly evolved, having both cerebrum and cerebellum, and large convolutions are also being present. The cranial nerves are of 12 pairs. Previously we have seen in many organisms the cranial nerves were 10 pairs, but in case of ours and other mammals, the cranial nerves is of 12 pairs. The senses are very much well developed. The eyes are protected by lids, the upper part of which is movable, and the external ear, it is having a cartilaginous flap which is called the pinna. The middle ear, it is having a cavity, and some ear ossicles or the ear bones are present which are referred to as malleus, incus and stapes. And cochlea of internal ear is spirally coiled. Lastly, except some of the egg-laying mammals, the mammals are generally viviparous, that means they are giving birth to the living ones. So this is all about all the phylums of the animal kingdom classification. I hope that everybody have understood all the points, though you can easily say or query out whichever points you're having confusion, you can send it to me. And I would request everybody to make a list of examples along with the phylum. As I've said before also, you can make one specific list like name of the phylum along with the examples, and along with those examples you can point out the characters from those specific organisms and can note it out, which will be easier for you all to identify and keep the characters in your mind. So thank you so much.